Today we're going to cover the tech topics that are important for a product manager to know. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. My name is Alex, and if you want to know more about product management, business, finance, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. As always, share this video with your friends that may be interested in building product management or business, and of course, smash the like button if you like this type of content and you want to see more of it in the future. I've been asked this question a lot. Many folks are concerned, can I get into product management if I don't have a tech background? Which topics should I know about? What is it important to know for the interviews? So first of all, let me just say right off the bat, yes, you can get into product management without a tech background. And I've got a separate video talking about exactly how you can do that. So check that out. Now, let's go into the actual tech topics that are important. For a product manager, it's not as important to be able to actually code because the company usually has exceptional engineers who can do that. Product managers rather have a few key distinct responsibilities, none of which involve coding. One of the responsibilities of the product managers is to think about the user, about what should be built and why it should be built. What problem does the user have? How to solve this problem? Why should we do it? So think about the why, about the product strategy, these questions. Another part of the responsibilities of the product manager is the vision. How do you build a vision of what should be built? How do you build a vision for the product or a series of products or features? What should be built first? What should be built second? How do you design a roadmap? All of these things. That's the responsibility of the product manager. Then finally, executing on this vision, actually building, actually bringing all the different folks and groups together in order to make meaningful progress and move a product forward, move it toward launch or iteration or whatever it is. And that's what a product manager's main responsibility is. And so to do these things, you need to be familiar with certain tech topics. You need to just understand how fundamentally tech products work, how they are built usually, what problems are faced usually with tech products, how to overcome them, how to work with engineers, and how to make meaningful progress when faced with technological complexity. Those are the key aspects. Let's get into what you should actually know to do well as a product manager in tech, without a tech background necessarily. You should have a general idea of how the internet works. Client-server technology. You should have an understanding of data storage. Which pieces of data should be stored for a particular situation? Where should they be sent? How should the client and server communicate? How do you design these systems to withstand real-world problems, potential bad actors, huge volumes, spread out over different geographical areas, the practical aspects of client and server management, and in general, how the internet works. So you should have an understanding of that. It's important for you to be able to design a system, to architect a system. Of course, this depends on what level product manager you are. If you're just starting out, you may want to architect a particular feature. As you progress, you may want to tie a set of features together, then build out an architecture for an entire product, then maybe a series of products, then maybe the entire company. And when I say architecture, I mean build the plan for what the processes actually look like. What does it look like when the entire product or the entire business operates? What happens? What information is stored? What information is sent from where to where? How is it operated on to produce some sort of an effect? And what does all of that look like? So you should get familiar with processes, how flowcharts work, how processes can be improved, how processes can be diagrammed. All that can be extremely useful when you're talking about improving products or processes in a tech organization. Next important piece is working with data. You should get familiar about what different types of data there are, how to work with them, how to extract some sort of results from them. And this goes hand in hand in setting up experiments, trying to understand how to analyze data, so data analysis. And in order to do well in the data analysis piece, yes, you should try to pick up SQL and understand how that works, but more importantly and fundamentally, you should understand how statistics works, probability, so that you can actually work with the data and set up proper experiments and understand how to interpret results. This is very important as a lot of tech products rely on this experimental approach to figure out, should we go to path A or path B? How do you set up the right experiment? How do you interpret the results? And what do you actually do? Collating qualitative and quantitative analysis, trying to make sense of it. It really, really is imperative for product managers to be comfortable with data analysis, interpretation, statistics, and the underlying structure of it all is mathematics. Math is definitely helpful. I mentioned SQL. SQL is important to pick up. SQL is basically the language of manipulating databases and drawing out the data that you need from sets of data. You're going to be working with a lot of data sets. You're going to need to manipulate them in such a way as to actually get out a meaningful data set. By the way, if you're a student and thinking about product management career, I have a separate video talking about how to get into product management as a student. You may find that useful. Check it out if you're a student or recent graduate. While I said you don't need to be a coder, a programmer, or a software engineer, it is useful and important to understand how programming actually works. See if you can learn a language or just the concept behind coding. You certainly don't need to become an expert, but it is helpful to understand how data structures work, how data can be stored and manipulated, some high-level concepts of programming, understand about efficiency and speed and scale. This will be very useful when you're building products because it will be easier to actually speak with engineers. You'll understand why a certain problem is a problem or why something can't be done a particular way if you have an understanding around programming. So I definitely recommend getting to know coding, but don't try to become a master programmer. Next important aspect is understanding user interface, user experience principles. So there's certain principles about UI design, about what the user experience flow should look like at any particular stage. And it's very useful for a product manager to understand that because there's some common sets of principles that you can learn about user interface. What looks good in general? What are the different styles of UI that can be made? What are the different methods for the user to interact with the products that exist? And just being a student of different products, you just have a healthy interest in different apps and websites and physical products. You get to learn the different ways that the users interact with products to solve their problems. So it helps to know the practice of what actually happens and then the theory around what are some best practices, what are some things that we see over and over. Those are going to be very useful when you're designing products of your own. From a tech perspective, it's also important to understand user flows and user funnels and the different stages of a product. So how does the user interact with the product? How does the user find out about the product, engage? How do you retain the user? What are important aspects in terms of monetizing the user or getting the user deeply engaged or making referrals? Understanding how different platforms work. So the different platforms where a user might interact with the product. It might be web, it might be Chrome, Safari, it might be app, it might be a native app, it might be iOS, Android native, it might be a cross-platform app, it might be a PWA, a web app. It might be a physical product, it might be a combination of both. So understanding the different surfaces via which the user can actually interact with products. That's important, and it's important to have that understanding in order to build tech products. Finally, an understanding of agile product development and the software development lifecycle in general. How do tech products get built? What are the components that put them together? What are the different stages of work? What are the common problems and the pitfalls of putting together tech products? What might go wrong in order to cause a problem or a bug in a tech product? What are some things to watch out for? All of these things are important because they come up, and since part of the job for product manager is execution, understanding how all of this works can set you up to do very well in a product manager tech interview, but also do very well in actually building this product. By the way, I have a separate video talking about top mistakes that product manager candidates make during interviews. This video should be useful if you're thinking about going for a product manager interview in the future. Ultimately, all of these tech concepts are aiming toward one goal, is to get you comfortable to work on a tech product, to collaborate with engineers that are actually coding and creating this product based on your specifications and hopefully the user needs, and get you to be able to communicate meaningfully with other team members on different levels of sophistication. Here's how the tech actually works. Here's how you explain it to a layperson. Here's how you collaborate with your engineers on it. And here's how you move the whole project forward. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like it, please make sure to smash the like button and of course subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the new videos. I've got a lot of other videos on the channel, a lot of playlists for you to check out. I'm going to leave a few of them here. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. I read all the comments, so I definitely look forward to hearing to any of your questions or comments, feedback, and suggestions. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.